Hey guys, what is going on? It's your boy, the Mad Kiger here, uploading on a Sunday. Yes, again, as you can tell from the pajamas. Yeah, one of those days. But today, guys, we are going to be taking a look today, and we're doing a little bit of a guide here, a beginner's guide, so to say. I've been playing some Yakuza Kiwami lately, and I say what you want about the game, but there's one thing that the game has really sort of dragged me into, and that is the amount of content it had in the game. Now, that it brings us to our main point: 100% in games. So I've got a little bit of a guide here, some things that you need to do in order to 100% games. Now, this is a basic guide that it may not apply to every game, but again, it's certain games that it will apply to, some games it don't, some games it does. Each game is different. But it's a great way for you guys to sort of get the most out of your games, because often I get asked, do I 100% games? Well, the answer is a bit of a yes and no kind of thing for me personally, because I have so many games. But there have been times where I played games over and over again, and you really do sort of get sucked into it. And it's a great way for people who haven't got many games to get the most out of them. So I've got a bit of a guide here. I've wrote down some notes just so I've remembered. Otherwise I'm doing this off of nothing. But here we go. We've got a bit of a guide. It's something different. I don't know how much this will apply to you, but I thought I'd try it out and see what happens. So one of the first things that's been around in gaming for a long time, and a lot of people often forget about this one in terms of 100% in games, is difficulty. Now, some games don't have difficulty, just work on a more like RPGs and things like that. It's based on a difficulty that levels up as you play, adaptive difficulty as well. But some games that have that basic easy, hard, normal, and then other difficulties. I think difficulties in video games is something that definitely should be taken into consideration if you are trying 100% a game. It might get a little bit repetitive and a little bit redundant playing the game over again on a higher difficulty, but most games let you just select a mission if you're doing a game that's mission based. But playing on different difficulties will give you a different experience, sometimes slightly, sometimes massively. There are different difficulties in games. There are special difficulties, like difficulties where you can play the game without dying and things like that. I think changing up the difficulties in video games will give you more playtime, because it means that you can go back and play the game on a harder difficulty than what you did before and put yourself more of a challenge. Now, me personally, I normally play my games on easy first, so I can play the game, experience the main story, the game itself, have fun with the game, and then if I want to come back and play it again on a harder difficulty, I know what I'm in for. So again, you don't have to do it that way. Some people go straight in on the hardest difficulty, and that's fine. Me personally, I prefer to play the game on an easier difficulty, get the game played, and then move on to a harder difficulty if I come back to it. There aren't many games that I do that in, but Warriors games is probably one of the few games that I do it in. Now, that being said, difficulties can be often done in ranks as well. Now, that's another thing that you need to bear in mind. Some games use a ranking system where, you may get an A ranking or a B ranking, S ranking, and obviously there's sometimes little objectives that you have to do to get that. Now, for the most part, I don't really care about ranks, but if you are trying 100% a game and it's a game that does use a rank-based system, then bear in mind that if you want to get that 100%, you probably do want to try and get that highest rank and just put the time in. And yes, it might get a little bit annoying having to do it over and over again. Unfortunately, that's one of the things that you need to bear in mind when doing 100%. And then that brings me to, yes, most games have a main mode, but some games have side quests and other modes. Now, side quests normally are in RPG-based games, and often, it's important to do side quests anyway, especially in RPG games, because, it helps level you up and stuff like that. And I think doing all the side quests in a game, or other modes like challenge modes, activities in games like GTA, other modes like special modes and things like that, trying to get all of the modes done, all of the side quests done, can be a challenge, but it's definitely something you'll have to do if you're trying 100% something, because it will take it into consideration. Again, Yakuza is a great example of a game that has so much in terms of content, side quests, things to get and do and stuff like that. Then it brings me to, well, probably one of the more annoying aspects or long-term aspect of games. Again, this is more something that you do in RPGs and things like that, and that is grinding and leveling up. Now, grinding is basically doing the same thing over and over again to basically maybe get a weapon or you know, get some powers or just purely level up. Again, Warriors games are great in terms of leveling up because there's so many characters, and trying to get each character leveled up to the highest level can be a challenge, and it's definitely a grinding experience. Again, some games don't take this into consideration when trying to get 100%, you know, getting everything leveled up fully, but a lot of games will have that, have like upgrade trees, and games that you have to grind a lot in will take highest level, you know, getting the max level, getting all the skills, stuff like that into consideration. Again, it might mean that you have to do the same missions over and over again, or spend a lot of time killing the same enemies and things like that. But it is something, unfortunately, that is more, you know, more prevalent in today's gaming society. And again, it depends on what game it is. Me personally, I'm not overly keen on grinding that much. But again, if it's, you know, done all right and it's actually a fun game, then it can be pretty, you know, it's hard to pull off a good grinding game. But again, there are tons of games out there that use this grinding thing. Again, you don't have to do it in some games, but some games do take it into consideration. Now, again, and then that brings me to unlockables and collectibles. Now, collectibles are more something that are found, again, in open world games, RPGs, you know, hidden things that you have to go and look for. Again, collectibles aren't necessarily bring any new thing into the game. Again, it's basically like a big side quest, you know, like, you know, in some games like in the GTA, get all the parts or something like that. I don't know if that's a thing, but you know, where you have to get all these individual collectibles, like the pigeons on the old GTA game. Again, it's something that, again, it does take a while and it does get repetitive, but if you really are serious about trying to get 100%, bear in mind you are going to have to try and get all of the collectibles. Some games don't make you get all of them, but some games will. Again, some games don't, like I said, some games don't actually consider 100% to be a thing. It can be a personal achievement. I personally think if you can 100% a game and do everything in it, that's great. It's a personal achievement. Just because the game might not give you anything in return. Some games do reward you, some don't. Again, it's down to you whether you want to do it. And then we have unlockables. Now, again, some games don't use unlockables, but a lot of games do, having to do certain things to unlock something, like maybe a special character, a special mission, you know, a car or something in racing games. You know, unlocking everything in the game can be a challenge in its own right. And again, like I said, sometimes you don't have to try and unlock everything, but I'm having a bit of trouble with, well, not really a bit of trouble, but Warriors Orochi 4, I've come off it for a while anyway now. I'm playing Yakuza Kiwami. I want to get this game finished. But there's a lot of characters in that game, and there's a lot of weapons you can unlock and things like that, and you have to keep doing it. Like in the wrestling games, you have to unlock characters, you know, whether it's by getting money or doing a certain mission. Loads of games have unlockables, you know, it's been around since like early days of gaming. Now, like I said, this is a guide that can appear for most things. This isn't most in-depth thing. If you want me to go more in-depth with this, then let me know. I could do a more in-depth video, but I wanted to just do a short video today, and something that I think could be helpful to you guys. And then that brings me to a more modern thing in gaming, and that is achievements and trophies. Achievements and trophies, I think, are a great way to give the player something in return. Now, again, you don't necessarily get things for achievement points and trophy points, although I have heard that PlayStation are going to start giving you like points for earning trophies, which is great, which is what they should have done from the beginning. But I think achievements and trophies, I really do like having them in the game, because it's like, again, a personal little trophy or achievement to you to say, oh, look what I've done in this game. Some achievements are just there to annoy you. Some are there, to make you laugh. Some of them are just, again, it can change the game and make you do things that you don't want to do or wouldn't normally do. Like, for example, in Overwatch, again, love-hate relationship with that game. But like, there's an achievement: play as Reaper, get 4 kills with your ult. Now, for most people, it is a hard achievement, again, but for most people who don't play Reaper, it gives them if they're an achievement hunter, it gives them a reason to play the game from a different character. Again, like an achievement, unlock everything in the game. And again, this helps you with achievements. Achievements are a great way to try and keep, and trophies, sorry. Achievements and trophies are a great way to try and keep 100% in a game. A lot of people actually go on getting every achievement or trophy in a game and then say that they've 100% of the game. But you've got to bear in mind, not every game does that. I can't sit here and tell you which ones do and don't, but I will say not everyone do that. Bear in mind, like I said, this is a basic guide. I've got a ton of games, a ton of consoles. So games that might not, some games might not have leveling up systems. Some games might not have grinding. Some might not have collectibles. Some might have everything. It depends on what you're playing. Now that brings me to my main point. Do I 100% games? Well, I'm more towards no. And the main reason is just because I've got tons of games. But that doesn't mean that I don't sit here and play games that I've already beaten the main story for. Like I said, sometimes I do come back and play the game again. Sometimes I come back and enjoy playing the game again. But because there's all of these other things that developers put in games, you've got the main story, but then you've also got a bunch of side things to do. What are you doing?
Okay.
What? Then you've got a bunch of side quests and side missions, achievements, collectibles, so much stuff developers put into their games. And a lot of times, people buy a game and it says campaign is like 10 hours, I've beaten the game, But then when you actually look at the completion this time, it might be 40, 50 hours. Again, there are websites to help you track how much time it takes to do each thing in a game. I use my game profiler app, and it actually tells me, it's not on every game, but most games it will tell me how long the main story is, how long it is to get all of the side missions, do the main story and side quest, how long it is to get everything in the game. And like I said, Yakuza Kiwami is a game that I'm playing. I think the main story is about a 15-hour story, but the when you look at the completion this time, and that means getting everything in the game, it's at like 90 to 100 hours. So it just goes to show the amount of time in a game that you can spend just by 100% in your games. Me personally, I do and I don't do it. It depends what game I'm playing. I'm not going to force myself to try and 100% a game if I'm not enjoying it. Like I said, a lot of games have multiplayer, like, Call of Duty and stuff, where the Call of Duty has the prestige levels. And most people would say you've 100%ed the multiplayer when you've unlocked everything and you prestige max. I personally don't do that because I don't find it fun. I don't find those games fun and enjoyable. I don't mind playing them here and there, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and spend, hundreds of hours just so I can say that I've done that. Whereas in a game like Warriors, Orochi 4 and Yakuza Kiwami, because I do enjoy the aspects, the extra stuff that the game puts in and all this other stuff into it, it makes me personally want to play the game more. And you can really lose a lot of time in a game by doing that. And that brings me to Red Dead Redemption 2. Am I going to try and 100% Red Dead Redemption 2? Probably not. It depends. I know the game is doing fantastically. But I will say this, I am not getting the game tomorrow. I was going to get it tomorrow, but there's a high chance that I probably won't. I'm just going to go into town instead. We're going to try and do a pickups tomorrow. So maybe, guys, I might try and do another recent, a video game hunting video like we did before with the pickups, where I, show off some stuff while we're out and about, and sort of incorporate the vlogs into it. Try to do that tomorrow, just because I think, even though I really want Red Dead Redemption 2, for £50, yes, I'm getting a great game, but then I could go into town and I could see all these other games and go, oh, I've missed out on that one. I will get Red Dead Redemption 2 within, the next 2-3 weeks. Probably next week. Next Thursday, more than likely. But there's a chance that I could get it beforehand. I will let you guys know. I'm buying the game digital anyway, so it doesn't matter when I get the game. Because I won't have the physical version yet. Maybe in the future when the game's like £5 something, I don't know, I'm joking. But yeah, I wanted to do this sort of guide and give you more of a in-depth look at, do I actually 100% games? Like I said, the answer's in the middle. I know some people are like, oh, just say yes or no, but for me, it's in the middle. Yes for some games, no for other games. For the most part, I like to play the main story and move on to the next game, just because it means that I can play through more of my game collection. When you have, 5,000 or so games, playing the same game for 100 hours, it makes you wonder, why do you have all these other games? So, but that being said, guys, wanted to try something different today, a little bit different. I might do more of these basic gaming guide videos where I just talk about things in general with gaming, some things to look out for and stuff like that. If you want more in-depth stuff, let me know. But like I said, I don't want my videos to be overly too long. But that being said, guys, if you enjoyed this sort of video, feel free to leave a like. Of course, let me know in the comments below. Do you 100% games? What games have you 100%ed? And what ones do you want 100% if you haven't already? Me personally, I would like to 100% Warriors Orochi 4, just so I could say that I have 100%ed that game. And also the Yakuza series, just because of all the little side missions and mini games. Such a fun game. I may do a review on it in the future. And of course, guys, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, all links in the description below. Social media, Streamlabs, Patreon, and of course, Twitch. I haven't been live streaming lately, mainly because the main reason is because I've been in pain, to be honest. And I setting up the capture card, the Connect for face cam, and then having to sit in the chair and still be able to be in view of the Connect fucking hurts like hell after a while. So I've sort of stepped back with the streaming. It's not bothering me too much, but I may stream again this week. And yeah, anyway, guys, have a nice day, and I'll see you tomorrow, probably with a pickups video, hopefully a good one. Take care and bye bye.